Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome to today's live session. This is Gayatri here, right? So let's start. Now in today's session, we are going to be discussing the questions that were asked in the last week's All India Mock Examination IBPS PO Prelims paper. Tell me before we start, how was the reasoning ability section this week? So if you look at this week's reasoning ability section, there were questions on syllogisms. Then there was a circular arrangement question where a few people were facing inwards and a few people were facing outwards. Then there were questions on coded inequalities. Then one question on ranking. Then there was one set where you had to arrange people in different floors and also arrange them linearly, where they are sitting opposite to each other. Then there was a set on machine input output. Then one more question on linear arrangement. These were the questions that were asked. I felt the reasoning ability section was fairly easy this week, because especially the puzzles or the arrangement problems, you could arrive at the answer really faster. Okay, it was not very difficult, I would say. Again, questions on syllogisms and all was mark scoring. Definitely you could have got it correct. There was one set on coding decoding. Again, remember when it comes to coding decoding, it is not, especially this new pattern of coding decoding where you have a number coding, a letter coding and a symbol coding involved. Keep in mind that it is not necessary that you have to find out the logic for all the three. Like, what is the number coding involved here? What is the symbol coding involved here? What is the letter coding involved? You need not find that out. Many times, even if you crack any one, you'll be able to find out the answers for the questions that come. Yeah, so this week's question was fairly easy. You just had to at least crack any one of this coding, right? Either the number or the letter or the symbol, and you could easily solve the questions that follow. Okay. So the only questions which could have taken a little time or was a little confusing was the machine input output question, right? That was little different, the machine input output set. And then this question where you had to arrange the people in different floors and also linearly arrange them. Even though it was not very difficult, it was a bit time consuming. Yes, other than that, all the other questions I felt were fairly easy in last week's paper. So let us look at the first question. What is given here? If E is not equal to J, T is not equal to D, K less than or equal to D, K greater than J, then which of the following is true? So what is given here? See, I have to find out the relationship between E and D. How do I find that out? So I know T is not equal to D and D is greater than or equal to K. K is greater than J and J is not equal to E. See, basically if I combine these statements and write, this is what I get. So if I'm just combining the statements, okay, T is not equal to D and D is greater than or equal to K, K is greater than J, J not equal to E. This is what I have. Okay, now using this I have to find out the relationship between D and E. Can I find out the relationship between D and E? I cannot, right? Based on the given information, I can't say D is greater than E or I can't say D is less than E. I cannot say anything solid. What will be my answer? Answer will be either E has to be equal to D or E is not equal to D. E is not equal to D means it can either be greater than or less than, right? So this will be my answer. So remember, whenever you are not able to find the relationship between two variables, here we are not able to find the relationship between D and E. In that case, what will be your answer? Either both of them have to be equal or both of them will not be equal. Now when I say both of them are not equal, that means either it can be greater than or less than. So you take the answer as either this is correct or this is correct. Yeah, again be careful, don't mark and as your answer, it is and, so it's not correct. Either E is equal to D or E is not equal to D. Or, see, this is also their attention to detail. Don't mark 3 as your answer, it is either or. Next one. Which of the following expressions will not be true if the following expression is definitely true? Again, in this question, read the question correctly. What are they asking? Which of the following expression will not be true if this expression is definitely true? So this you can just compare and say what the answer is. See, according to this expression, already Z is greater than C. So this is true with respect to the expression. Similarly, U is already less than Y. This is also true with respect to the given expression. Y is greater than V. Yes, that's also true with respect to the given expression. Z is less than u. No, that's wrong. Here actually u will be less than z, right? So this is wrong with respect to the given expression. B is less than or equal to y. Yes, B is less than or equal to y. That's also true. So which is the answer that you are looking for? Option 4 is the answer that you are looking for. Correct? Option 4 will be your answer. Which of the following will not be true if this expression is true? So option 4. Next one. There are 60 students in a college where number of boys are twice that of the number of girls. Parul ranked 11th from the top if there are 7 boys ahead of Parul. How many girls are after her in rank? So totally there are 60 students where the number of boys are twice that of the number of girls. So how many boys and girls will be there? There has to be 40 boys and 20 girls. Correct? 40 boys and 20 girls. See, if there are x girls, right, 2x boys will be there, 2x plus x is 60 or 3x is 60 or x is equal to 20 and boys is 40, right. So there will be 40 boys and 20 girls. Now what is asked? If you look at Parul, Parul is ranked 11th from the top. So Parul is ranked 11th means there are 10 students who are there before Parul. Now out of this 10 students, there are 7 boys. So there are 7 boys means how many girls will be there? 3 girls will be there. Now how many girls are there after her in rank? So that means Parul is also a girl. So Parul is the 4th girl, right? So 4th in rank with respect to girls. So there are 3 girls ahead of Parul, she is the 4th. So after her how many girls will be there? There are totally 20 girls, right? Out of this 20 girls, if 4 girls are gone, 20 minus 4, 16. So there will be 16 girls after Parul. So what will be your answer? Option 4, 16. Yes, very easy question. Everybody got it correct. Good. Next. Next question is on syllogisms. So draw the basic diagram for the given statements and then let's look at the conclusions. What is given? Some chairs are buildings. Some chairs are buildings. All buildings are vehicles. Some vehicles are trucks. Okay. What is the first conclusion? Some chairs are trucks. Not a definite conclusion, right? Can be or cannot be. So does not follow. Next one. Some chairs are vehicles. Some chairs are vehicles. Definitely follows. Some vehicles are building. Yes, definitely follows. No truck is a chair. Again, not a definite conclusion. But look at these two. These are a complementary pair. Okay. So when you have a complementary pair, you have to take that into consideration. So here either some chairs can be trucks, either the set trucks can have some intersection with this chairs or these two will be disjoint. So either this is true or this is true. So what will be your answer? Either 1 or 4 follows. Similarly 2 will follow and 3 will also follow. So your correct answer will be option 4. See, remember, whenever you have this, either you will have to check if there is a complementary pair in the conclusion. Otherwise, if you think you will forget that, check for the options given. If there is an either or option, then check if there are any complementary pairs to see to it that you don't miss that out. Okay. If we take these conclusions separately, we can say it will not follow. But remember, they have given a complementary pair in the conclusion, so you will have to consider that. So the correct answer here will be option 4. Either only 1 or 4 and 2 and 3 will follow. Yes, everybody got it correct. Next one. Some teachers are students. Some students are readers. All readers are writers. So first conclusion says some readers are definitely teachers. No, right? Some readers can be or cannot be teachers. It's not definitely teachers. Does not follow. At least some writers are teachers. See, at least some. All this stands for just one word, some. Right? All this means some. This means some. That's all. Some writers are teachers. Some writers are teachers. Again, not a definite conclusion. Does not follow. All writers being readers is a possibility. Yes, these two sets, right? They can be one single set. Readers and writers can be one single set also. So all writers being readers is a possibility. Definitely it's a possibility. So what will be the answer here? only 3 follows. That is option 4. Only 3 follows. Next one. So the next question is on circular arrangement. You have a group of 8 friends who are sitting around a circular table and reading different books. So based on the given information, you have to arrange them around the circular table. So try this one and tell me once you are done, and then I will start solving it. In this question, one thing we have to keep in mind is that some people are facing the center. That is, 4 of them are facing the center, 4 of them are facing away from the center. But I think this was fairly easy. I think once you start solving, you will be able to arrive at the arrangement really fast. I hope all of you got this in the examination as well. So what is given here? There are 8 people sitting around a circular table. So where do I start? I need a starting point, right? Harry is reading Solar Power and is sitting at a position diametrically opposite to Hina, who is facing away from the table. So Harry and Hina are sitting opposite to each other. So if this is Harry, this is going to be Hina. First, that is what I have arranged. Now, what is Harry reading? Harry is reading Solar Power, and Hina, okay, we don't know what she is reading. Now, the person reading mathematics is sitting second position to the left of the person who is reading the Quran. We don't know where to fix them. Piyush is reading general science and sitting in third position to the right of Bipasha. Again, I don't know how to place them. Third point I have made use now. Bipasha is reading young scientist. Then both Harry and Piyush are facing away from the table. So away from the table. Who are the people who are facing away from the table? Harry is facing away from the table. Piyush is facing away from the table. This is given in point number 6. So Harry is also facing away from the table. Now I already got that Hima is also facing away from the table. Then Hina, right? Hina. Then Hina is not reading Hindi. Sonia is sitting at the second position to the right of Romil. Romil, who is reading the fairy, is sitting at the third position to the right of Harry and is facing away from the table. So who is the fourth person who is facing away from the table? Romil. So if these are the 4 people who are facing away from the table, who are the 4 people who are facing towards the table? That's going to be the remaining 4 persons, right? That is, you have Sonia, and then you have Jack, then you have Bipasha, and you have Anand. So these are the 4 people who are facing towards the table. Now I have fixed Harry and Hina. Now they are saying that Romil, who is reading the fairy, is sitting at the third position to the right of Harry. So right of Harry means, right of Harry means this one, this side, right? See, Harry is facing outwards. So right of Harry means 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be Romil. Yes, Romil is sitting third to the right of Harry and is facing away from the table. So Romil is also facing outwards and he is reading the book Fairy. Now, so I have fixed Romil also. Then Sonia is sitting at the second position to the right of Romil. So which has to be Sonia? This has to be Sonia. And I know Sonia is facing inwards. Then I have 2 more places to fill here. Now, who will come where? Hina is not reading Hindi. Jack is second to the right of position of Bipasha, who is reading mathematics. Now, where can I place this Bipasha? Can Bipasha be here? See, if Bipasha is here, they are saying that Jack is sitting at second to the right of Bipasha. So, Jack has to be here. Not possible. Can Bipasha be here? No. Can she be here? No, because Jack has to sit second to the right of Bipasha. Again, here also not possible. So the only place where I can place Bipasha is here, because see, here it is given Jack is sitting second to the right of Bipasha. So this is the only place where I can place Bipasha. So if this is Bipasha, this is Jack. Okay. Now it is given that Bipasha is reading young scientist. So this also I got scientist. So Bipasha is reading young scientist, I have used. Jack is reading mathematics, that is also given here. So Jack reads mathematics. Then what else? Piyush is reading general science and sitting third to the right of Bipasha. So which should be Piyush? This has to be Piyush, right? So again, but Piyush is facing away from the table, right? So Piyush is facing away from the table. Sorry, I marked it as inside. Piyush is facing away from the table, right? See here, 1, 2, 3. 3 people are facing outward. So this person is facing inwards. So here, when I look at the directions, if I take this to be Bipasha, Bipasha obviously has to face inward. So this has to be Piyush and Piyush has to face outward. Okay, so this is Jack. Okay, this we don't know who it is. So who are we left with? We are left with Anand. So this has to be Anand. Now which are the books that all of them are reading? See, I know Piyush reads general science. So put general science here. Then I am left with Hindi, Quran and English. Something about Quran is said here, no? The person who is reading mathematics is sitting second to the left of the person who is reading Quran. So who is reading Quran? Sonia has to read Quran because Jack is sitting second to the left of the person who is reading Quran. Then we are left with Anand and Hina. So it is already given that Hina is not reading Hindi. So Anand has to read Hindi and Hina will be English. So this will be your final arrangement. Clear? So Harry is reading solar power, Jack mathematics, Piyush general science, Sonia Quran, Hina English, Romil fairy, Anand Hindi. Anand Hindi and Bipasha young scientist. Yes, see, if you find out who is sitting towards the table and who is sitting away from the table, it is lot more easier to do this arrangement. Everybody got it? Is it clear? Now let's look at the questions that follow. Who reads the young scientist? Bipasha reads the young scientist. See here, it is already given here. Bipasha is reading young scientist. Directly you can get the answer. Next one. Who is sitting third to the right of Anand? Who is sitting third to the right of Anand? 1, 2, 3. Jack is sitting third to the right of Anand. Option 5. If Jack and Bipasha interchange their position and similarly Sonia and Romil interchange their position. Okay, Jack and Bipasha, Sonia and Romil. So how will it be? Jack and Bipasha. So this will become Jack, Bipasha and this Sonia and Romil. So this is Sonia and this is Romil. So if this is happening, then what are they asking? What is the position of Harry with respect to Romil? So where is Harry? Harry is here. Now Romil is here. What is the position of Harry with respect to Romil? Romil is facing inwards. So in this question, what are they saying? They are saying these Jack and Bipasha interchange their position and Sonia and Romil interchange their position. Nothing is said about the directions that they are facing, so we can keep the directions as such. The person who is sitting here is facing outwards, the person who is sitting here is facing inwards only. But they are changing positions alone. So this is how they are now. Romil is facing inwards, so Harry is fifth to the right of Romil. That will be your answer. So correct answer will be option 2. Unless they have not mentioned anything about the direction that they are facing, you keep the direction as such. Okay, only the position of these people are changing. Yes, fifth to the right will be your answer. Next one. Which of the following pairs face away from the table? See, you know Anand is facing towards the center, then again here Anand is again there, Anand will face the center, then you have Jack will also face the center, right? Piyush and Harry will be the ones who are facing away from the table. You can just check that. Piyush is facing away, Harry is also facing away from the table. So the answer will be Piyush and Harry face away from the table. Next one. What is the position of Piyush with respect to Romil? Position of Piyush with respect to Romil. Where is Romil? This is Romil and this is Piyush. With respect to Romil, third to the right of Romil is Piyush. So third to the right of Romil is Piyush. Next one. So this is the next question that was there. So here what is given? You have 9 people who live in a multi-story building in different floors, and the floor numbers are given from 1 to 9, and they are sitting in 2 rows facing each other, 5 in one row and 4 in other. One place was vacant in the row of 4 people. Now you have to arrange them. So try this arrangement. So basically you have to do 2 things. One is to arrange these people according to the different floors in which they live, and the other is to make them sit facing each other. 5 in one row, 5 in another row, sitting in north-south direction facing each other. So try this and tell me once you are done. See, I felt between this question and the previous question, the previous one was far more easy because you just had to do one circular arrangement, right? Here you have two things to do. You have to arrange the people according to the floor in which they live and also arrange them linearly in 2 rows. But this is also easy. It's not that it was very difficult, but compared to the previous question, the previous one was easier. So what is given here? R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y and Z are 9 people who live in multi-story building on different floors. The ground floor is number 1, the floor above is number 2 and so on, and the topmost floor is number 9. In the building, all the people were seated facing 2 rows in such a way that 5 in one row and the 4 in the other. One place was vacant in the row of the 4 people. These people were facing each other in linear seating arrangement. Okay, so first, these people are living in 9 different floors, right? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then they are sitting in 2 parallel lines. They are sitting facing opposite to each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. Now, let us look at the conditions that is given. What is given here? The person at the extreme ends of the north facing row are immediately next to each other's floor. The person at the extreme ends of the north facing floor. So these 2 people who are sitting here are immediately next to each other. Let that be there. W is not living on an even number floor. Okay, again I cannot fix that. Z lives on the top floor and sits opposite to the vacant floor. So Z lives on the top floor means this has to be Z. The person living in the 5th floor sits opposite to W and faces north. Again I can't use that. Y and R live immediately next to each other with Y above R and both sit opposite to each other. V is not an immediate neighbor of S's floor. S sits third to the right of Y and U is in the middle of the north facing people's row. So I am going to use this next. U is in the middle of the north facing people's row. So this has to be U. R sits to the left of W. And okay, Y does not live on the 8th or the 7th floor. W and T sit at extreme ends of the row and face south. W and T sit at the extreme ends of the row and face south. Also they are immediate next to each other's floor. So W and T, right, they are sitting in these corners. So either it can be WT like this or this can be T and this can be W. So again now we have 2 possibilities, right? Okay, 2 possibilities are there. Then V lives on the 3rd floor. V lives on the 3rd floor and faces south. S does not sit adjacent to the vacant place. There are exactly 3 floors between Z and X. There are 3 floors between Z and X. I am going to use this next. There are 3 floors between Z and X means if this is Z, which is X, this is X. So X is on the 5th floor. Next, the person who is living on the 5th floor sit opposite to W and faces north. Okay, and what else is given? See, look at this statement here. R sits to the left of W. So R sits to the left of W means if this is the case, right? Can anybody sit to the left of W? No, they cannot, right? W is facing downwards. Left of W will be this side. Nobody is there. So this is not possible. Here they have said R sits to the left of W. So if this is W, this has to be R. R will sit to the left of W. See, in the first, when we started, we had 2 possibilities, but this possibility is wrong because R is sitting to the left of W, which is not possible in this case. So this case goes wrong. So this will be your correct one. This is W and this is R. Then what else is there? Now W and T sit at extreme ends of the row. Yes, we have used that already. What else is given? The person living on the 5th floor sits opposite to W and faces north. Who is sitting opposite to W? X is sitting opposite to W. Then what else is given? So this is X, this is U, and Y and R. Yeah, see, Y and R live immediately next to each other's floor with Y above R's floor and both sit opposite to each other. So if this is R, this is Y. And now Y and R sit next to each, they live next to each other, correct? And it is also given that y is living above r. So y is there, so just below that has to be r when you put them here. Now what else is mentioned? Y does not live in 7th or 8th floor. So y cannot be here or y cannot be here. So this can also not be r for sure. So y and r will not come in these three places. Where is the only other place where I can keep them? I can keep them, this is y and this is r. So this is the only other place where I can place y and r. Now next, what are they saying? They are saying v and s are not adjacent to each other. So this cannot be s. So s has to be among these three. Okay. Now next, who are we left to fill? We have to fill w, and w is not, see next it is given, see this is not s, then I have to fill, if you look at the floor arrangement, I have to fill w, I have to fill t, and I have to fill u. Now if you look at w, they are saying w is not living on an even numbered floor. So w definitely should be here, right? W should live on an odd numbered floor, and the only odd numbered floor left is 7. So this has to be w, and now we are left to fill t, u and s. So let's wait for that. Now let's come back to our arrangement here. Then what else is given? S does not sit adjacent to a vacant place. V lives on the 3rd floor and faces south. So see, V is going to be in this floor. Okay. Now Z is opposite to the vacant floor, and it is also given that S does not sit adjacent to the vacant place. So where can, see definitely if V is here, one of this place has to be vacant and one of this has to be Z, right? One is Z, one is vacant, and I know the other thing to fill here is V, already given. So which has to be S? Obviously this has to be S. If this is S, they have also given that S is not sitting adjacent to a vacant place. So this has to be your Z. Okay. So if this has to be Z, then this has to be your vacant place. I hope it is clear. See, we are at this point, right? When we are at this point, we know Z is sitting opposite to a vacant place. So the only place where I can fill Z and the vacant place is here, right? That is the only place which is empty, right, where I can put people in two opposite places, right? Only this place is there remaining. So one has to be Z and one has to be vacant. Now I know the one of the other persons who is facing south is V. So obviously this has to be V. So this has to be Z or vacant. We don't know which is Z and which is vacant. So who are we left with? We are left with S. So this has to be S. Now I know that they have said S is not sitting adjacent to the vacant place. So this has to be Z, and then what will that mean? That means that this has to be the vacant one. Okay, this is the vacant place. So this is your final arrangement. Okay, seating arrangement. Now you are done with this. Now let's go back to this. See, now I have to fix T, U and S. I know S won't come in the this place, right? S cannot come here. So S has to be here or here. Now here what are they saying? The persons at the extreme end of the north facing row sit next to each other's floor. What does that mean? X and S will sit next to each other. Also, what have they given? They have also given that W and T, right, sit at the extreme ends of the row, face south, and they are also immediately next to each other's floor. So where can S be? S definitely has to be here. See, I know S cannot come adjacent to V, so this is not S. So obviously this has to be S, because X and S has to be near each other. And similarly W and T should be near to each other. So this is T and this will be U. So that is your final arrangement. Yes? So you got it now? This will be your final arrangement. 1R, 2Y, 3V, 4U, 5X, 6S, 7W, 8T and 9Z. And this is the way in which they are arranged. So let us look at the questions that follow. What is the first question? Who lives on the 4th floor? U lives on the 4th floor. On which floor does W live? W lives on the 7th floor. Right? It lives on an odd number floor, so 7th floor. 4 of the following are alike in a certain way and hence form a group. Which is the one that does not belong to the group? So which is the odd one out here? The odd one out here is actually R and V. Why is that? See, in all the other cases, the first one is to the left of the second one. If you take YU, Y is to the left of U, correct? If you take RW, R is to the left of W. So this is the odd one, RV is the odd one. Next, in the meeting, who is sitting immediately right to Z? In the meeting, who is sitting immediately right to Z? Right to Z is S. So S is your answer. Which of the following statements is true? R sits second from the left end of the row. So R sits second from the left end of the row. S sits in the middle of the row. This is wrong. T sits opposite to Y. Wrong. Y lives on the 4th floor. Wrong. U was living on the 4th floor, right? So what will be your answer? R sits second from the left end of the row. So is R sitting second from the left end of the row? Is that correct? See, if you look at the top row, right? If you look at the top row, what is happening? This is how it is, right? So everybody is facing downwards. That is the row. So which is your left end? This is your left end here and this is your right end. So R sits second from the left end of the row. That's not correct, right? Left end of this row is this side. So R is sitting second from the right end of this row. So this is also wrong. So what will be your answer? Your answer will be none of the above. Clear? Now next, look at the next one. The next one is on machine input output. Again, the machine input output, how many of you tried it out on the examination? So the logic, what is the logic that is followed here? Anybody could understand, anybody could get this logic? So might be if we solve such questions like this in the session, if such questions come in the examination, then it will be very easy for you to solve. The more and more types of questions that you solve from topics like machine input output, it's always good, okay, when you actually try it out in the exam. See, what they have done here is, they have taken this words which come along with letters as one group. So if you look at this, I have Daredevil 70, that is one unit. Similarly, Super King 30, Riders 4. And based on the numbers that are there, okay, these units are first arranged in the ascending order of the numbers. So which is the smallest number here among 4, 30 and 70? 4 is the smallest number. So in step 1, I am bringing this Riders 4 in the beginning. In step 2, which is the next biggest number here? 30. So that will come here, Super King 30. Remaining words are as such. In the third step, I will bring this Daredevil 70. Okay. So first I am considering this this word that is followed by a number as one unit, and I arrange these in the ascending order. So of the numbers, okay, of the numbers. Once I am done with that, then the remaining words that are there, I arrange them as per the alphabetical order. Okay, so here once this is done, then which will come next among these words that are there, which will come first in alphabetical order? Challenger, right? But actually in this particular set, what happens is, when I arrange this challenger, all the other automatically comes in alphabetical order, C, K, R, T, W. So at this step you can stop. Okay, so in this 4 steps you will stop. So that is the logic that is followed. So if you are able to crack this part, no, that I consider the word and the number as one unit and I first arrange them, if that logic is clear, then I think this set would be very easy. Now let us look at this input now. So if this is the case, what will come first? So are the numbers, the words which have numbers along with them are these, right? So which will come first? This huddle feed 12, that will be your first step, right? Then you will have U, then M89, C21, A, L, B, E. Now what will be your second step? Second step means the next thing, next one which will come after 12, 21, right? So H12, C21. Then you will have U, M89, A, L, B, E. What will be your third step? H12, C21, then I have to bring this M89, right? M89, then U, A, L, B, E. Now what will be your fourth step? H12, C21, M89, then The remaining words, whatever are there, you have to arrange them in the alphabetical order. You will have A, U, L, B, E. In the next step, you will have A, B, U, L, E. The next step, you will have A, B, E, U, L. And in the last step, you will have A, B, E, L, U. So you have 5, 6 and 7. So these are your steps. Okay. So I hope the logic is clear. Now let us look at the questions that follow. Which step number will be the following output? So this is the output that is given. See, again, to solve this particular question, you need not write all these steps that I have written. Just look at what is given here. See, Huddersfield 12, Chelsea 21, Madrid 89. Then next is United, Arsenal, whatever. So I see that I have arranged only the first 3 units, right? After that I have not started arranging. If I had arranged here, actually here I should have Arsenal, which has not happened. So only the first 3 sets have been arranged. So which step is this? You might directly mark the answer as step 3, right? But see, one more thing. Look at the input that is given here. What is the input that is given here? United, you have United, Madrid, Chelsea 21, Arsenal, Liverpool, Barcelona, Huddersfield, Everton. Okay. Now see, if you look at these words, I have A, L, B and E. But see here what is given. I have A, L, E and B. It is not even there anywhere, right? I hope it is clear. See, when you see this question, suddenly we might end up marking the answer as step 3 because we have arranged 3 units here, right? But remember to look at the other words as well. Now, if you look at the input that is given to us, right? In this input, so these are the words that I remove, right? Madrid 89, Chelsea 21 and Huddersfield 12. Now, United, okay, it might be here only, then Arsenal, Liverpool, Barcelona and Everton. But here, if you see, I have Everton and Barcelona. The order is changed. There will be no such step where the order will be changed like this, right? So, what will be your answer? Your answer will be option 5. Even if you look at step 3, last will be BE. See? BE, BE, BE. Will there anywhere be EB? It won't be there. So, there will be no such step. So, directly don't mark your answer as step 2. Just look at the other step 3. Just look at the other words as well. Okay, this question is basically on attention to detail, right? Suddenly when you see this, automatically you might take this as the answer, but remember to see this part as well. Next one. How many steps will be required to get the final output? 7 steps will be required to get the final output. Which word or number would be 5th from the right in step 5? 5th from the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th from the right is Arsenal. So Arsenal is the answer there. Then what is the position of 89 in step 6? See, 89 is here, right? So if you look, it will always be here. It has been, we have fixed that in step 3 itself. It won't change its position after that. So in step 6, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6th from left, or if that is not there from right, what will it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6th from right. So 6th from right is there in the options. You go with that as the answer. See, why I checked here was Madrid is already fixed as this Madrid 89 is already fixed, right, in the 3rd step itself. So if you see, actually if you see 6, so this is going to be 89 here. So if you look at from the right in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th from the right or 6th from the left, both will be correct. In the options they have given 6th from the right. Mark that as your answer. So with that we are coming to an end of the questions in the reasoning ability section as well. Everything was clear in this reasoning ability section, I hope. As I said, reasoning ability in this paper was fairly easy or moderate, I would say, except for that floor puzzle which took an extra time. Other than that, all the other questions were fairly easy in this set. So thank you so much. Happy Dussehra to all of you and have a nice long weekend if any of you are working. So that is it from us for now. Any more doubts, anything else? So all the very best, all of you. I will see you in next week's session, and this is Gayatri signing off. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Good night.